What's up, guys? Rajan Nanavati here with hailtothedistrict.com. It's been quite some time since I dropped a video, and I'm commuting home on this March afternoon on a Friday, so I thought I'd pop a video because Trent Williams' name has been in the news lately, and I kind of wanted to talk about this because there's this growing expectation that the Redskins are going to surrender some type of high-value asset in exchange for Trent Williams, even though we clearly understand that he's a distressed commodity at this point, and some team is going to want to trade for him on the price that they want to pay for him. So what does that mean? It means Redskins fans, there's some sect of us who believe that, we should be getting two number ones like like Miami did for Laramie Tunsil, like what Houston paid for Laramie Tunsil. And I think that's absolutely preposterous, but there's probably a more rational segment of the Redskins fan base who says, yeah, we might not get 2 first-round picks, but we should definitely get 2 second-round picks. And I think even that, while that might sound more palatable in certain cases, I think you have to look at that from a couple of perspectives. Number one, the thing that drives me nuts the most in professional sports, or most about professional sports fans, is that they always overvalue their own player when it comes to the exchange market or what they think they can garner if they're going to trade their own player. And number two, the fact that they think trades are so easy, right? We are all going to overvalue Trent Williams because, as an aside, I will include myself in the sect of fans who believes Trent Williams, even today after 1 year of not playing in the NFL, is still one of the 3 best left tackles in the NFL. I genuinely can't think of 3 tackles who I would want to have on my team over Trent Williams, even as of today, even at his age, even after missing an entire season, right? But that's not how the rest of the NFL views him right now. They view him as a player who's entering his 30s, who has rarely been able to finish an entire 16-game season healthy, who's had a myriad of health problems, and most importantly, who's playing on the last year of his contract and is going to command something like Laramie Tunsil money in the neighborhood of $19 to $20+ million a year. So no team is going to want to commit big resources like the Houston Texans did last year under the gamble that he's not going to be here, he's not going to be with that team for the following season. So they're going to try to get him on a rational price that, in the worst case scenario, if they end up losing him at the end of the year, it doesn't look so bad in hindsight. What does that translate to? Most teams are probably willing to commit something like a 3, or maybe like Mary Kay Cabot of the Cleveland Plain Dealer, I believe that's the publication she works for, went on the Redskins Talk podcast with JP Finley and those guys, and she threw out a hypothetical scenario where the Browns could surrender a couple of third-round picks. And I think after the compensatory picks were announced a couple of days ago, that a couple teams might have a few more picks that they could potentially surrender. I know New England has a few more picks at their disposal, which makes things interesting because he's the type of contender that potentially would want to be traded there. And whether or not he's going to get the contract there, that's the second part of the equation, is an entirely separate matter. New England is very notorious about committing long-term money to players who are obviously, on the other side of their prime. But again, so it comes back to this, that who is this market of suitors that are out there that are willing to pay this price that Redskins fans believe that Trent Williams should garner? And I think that if you look at it, that market isn't that healthy, right? Even a couple of years ago, I can't remember, I think it was the 2018 or 2017 draft, when the Buffalo Bills traded Cordy Glenn to the Bengals, and that basically comprised a pick swap, right? I think it was 12 and 21. Those two teams switched places, and if you look at the net value of that pick, that was a second-round pick, was what the value of the goods were given up. But again, that's a player in his 20s. He was under contract. I believe he was still under his rookie contract. That's something that a team is willing to pay the value of a second-round pick to acquire, even though Cordy Glenn is nowhere near in the neighborhood as good of Trent Williams. So what are we realistically going to get from Trent Williams? I think we have to set our expectations accordingly, and that's fully understanding that Trent Williams is one hell of a player. But in today's world, who's going to give up this set of assets, or this cadre of picks that everyone thinks that we're going to get? And I think we just have to realistically set our expectations accordingly. In my world, I truly wish that whatever Trent Williams' beef is with the organization, and now it's just money at this point, that he was able to put that aside, that the organization was able to find a lucrative answer for him, and a cap-friendly answer for them and make both parties happy, and that let bygones be bygones because we mercifully fired Bruce Allen. Clearly, that's not the case. I would love to have Trent Williams back on our team, all things considered. But I think at this point, that train has sailed, as the saying goes. So we need to move on, and we need to get whatever we can. It's a sunk cost, and the worst thing you can do in economic theory and sunk costs is throw more good assets or more time into that investment. It's gone. Let's part ways, rip the Band-Aid off, and move forward. And we can't sit here and hold him hostage and hold our own team hostage at some level because of the money that he's going to count under the cap, just because we feel like we're not getting this valuable exchange of goods in return for him. And I think those are the expectations we have to set. I don't know. I could be way off. Maybe I'm just looking at this from a cynic standpoint, but let me know in the comments what you think. What do you realistically want to get in exchange for Trent Williams, and what do you think the Redskins should get? Or do you really think that the Redskins should keep him if they don't get the price that's fair market value for him, whatever fair market value means? Until then, thank you so much for watching until now, and hopefully I have more videos coming on the way soon. But thank you, and hail to the Redskins.